history this week. We got so much history. And let's start with the MVPs because it's the first time ever that both the American League and the National League MVP were voted in unanimously. So let's start with the American League. Shohei Ohtani winning now his second unanimous MVP. What a stud.
That's right. I'm rocking his jersey, Alex, the Shohei Ohtani jersey. Another unanimous MVP award for Shohei Ohtani. Second of his career that he's done it unanimously. This was, without a doubt, it was going to be the greatest season that we have ever seen. Missed 25 games at the end of the year, so that changed a little bit. You can't quite call it that. But this was one of the greatest seasons that we have ever seen. And Shohei absolutely deserves this award. When the announcement was made, he was there with his dog, which was just the cutest video of all time. But all 30 first-place votes going to Shohei Ohtani. Corey Seager came in second. Marcus Semien came in third. But look, let's talk Shohei.
Yeah.
What he did this year as a pitcher was dominant in its own right. And it wasn't even as dominant as he was on the hitting side. But you can talk about his offense. 304 batting average, 44 homers, a 1.066 OPS, a 3.14 ERA on the mound, 167 strikeouts. This was a season that it almost didn't feel like was 3 years ago. You would have said a season like this can never exist. Well, in 2021, he showed that it can exist. And this year, he won up that 2021 season. He just wasn't able to play the full year, unfortunately, to see what those final numbers could have been. But we could be talking, and probably would have been talking about 200 strikeouts, 50 homers, an OPS over 1,000, a batting average over 300. He ended up with a B WAR of 10. He had a double-digit WAR this season. That is unbelievable. So I continue to watch him in awe and realize, and I hope everybody realizes, that what we are watching is the greatest, most talented baseball player to ever exist. And I feel fortunate, and I hope everybody does, to get to watch him while we're alive. Like that's real talk here. Like we are watching a player that in 100 years, in 200 years, will be looked back upon like this mythical
unicorn. Unicorns do exist.
Almost like we
Shohei
do now with Babe Ruth. Like there's movies about him. There's this like mythical figure almost that, is he actually real? Is it a fictional guy? That's what Shohei is going to be. That's what it feels like now. And right now he's the first ever player to win 2 MVP awards unanimously.
Yeah. And
I can't say enough about the season he just had this year. It was an honor to get to watch him play. It's been an honor to be a fan of his and have him play right down the road where I can go. And who knows what the future holds. He could be right down the road in a different direction here soon. But what a season, what a year, what a career he's having. If his career, God forbid, ended right now, he's a Hall of Famer. And that's pretty crazy to say because you'd have to change the rules to get him in right now. But he's changed the game forever, which is what he wanted, Alex. He wanted to change the game forever. When we sat down last year and talked about his goals, sat down for searching for Shohei and asked him, what are your goals? He had already won a unanimous MVP.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to go in the direction of accolades or on the field or something. And he went with the goal of, I want to grow this game. I want people to not only know my name that know baseball. I want this sport to grow to a point where people know my name outside of baseball, and then it gravitates them to baseball, and their love makes them a fan of baseball. And we saw this with the 60,000 gloves just last week or earlier this week. He wants to grow the sport, and I just think what he's done has not only transcended the game of baseball, but it's transcended fandom of the entire sport. It's transcended sports, and I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, his long-term goal, we're already seeing that coming to fruition for him. But the next short-term goal for him is winning, because it's crazy to think in all of his success, he has yet to win a playoff game. He has yet to play in a playoff game, which is crazy because the Angels have had 5 MVPs in a 10-year stretch, and they have not won None of those MVPs have won a single playoff game.
Yeah, that's really bad. And the first of those was Mike Trout in 2014. That's the only year in a decade-long stretch that they even made the playoffs.
Yeah, and lost. Got swept in the first round.
Got swept. And that's almost like it is. It's unprecedented.
It's crazy
that
to
has
think about.
Never happened. There's 5 other teams that have won 5 MVP awards over a 10-year stretch. And all of them have had way more playoff success in that 10-year stretch than the Angels have because, well, they haven't had any playoff success. They didn't win a single playoff game. They only made the playoffs once. The next closest of those 5 other teams made the playoffs 3 times in the 10-year stretch, and they obviously won some baseball games in there.
Yeah.
So, obviously don't need to make this too much about the Angels, but I do think going forward that we're probably going to see Shohei Ohtani in the playoffs.
And in a different uniform.
And in a different uniform coming soon. But congratulations, first ever player in Major League Baseball history to win multiple MVP awards unanimously.
Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.